and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today I'm making a really special soap and a very expensive soap. It's one of the most expensive soaps I've made. It's called, I call it Modern Aleppo. It's based on the traditional Aleppo soap. It's a Syrian soap. The history is rich, and traditional Aleppo soap is laurel berry fruit oil and olive oil, and that's it. Well, I'm calling it modern because I'm mixing it up a little, and it's based on that. So this is not a traditional Aleppo, but I am going to be using my laurel berry fruit oil, and this is from Be Scented. From what I've found, they have one of the best prices on their laurel berry oil, and it goes on sale occasionally, and when it does, I grab it. So that's what's going in here with olive oil, and I do add a little coconut oil to my recipe. I'll leave the full recipe down below. I've done this before. You can find it on YouTube, but so I have a modern version based on the inspiration of a traditional Aleppo, and a traditional Aleppo is unscented. It's fabulous is what it is, and I just didn't want to mess with the traditional. It's got such a rich history that I'm tweaking it and doing something different. So I am going to be using, for the fragrance today, I am going to fragrance this soap. I got this from Rouge, Canada. Some fragrances to play with. They sent them to me to try, and they're beautiful fragrances. They have all the information on the scent on the bottle, which is so helpful. Usage rates, scent description, whether it has vanillin, it's all on here. It's so helpful. So today I am using Northern Woods to scent this soap because laurel berry fruit oil has a very rich sort of earthy scent to it. So this fragrance, I thought this would just sort of complement the natural earthiness of the laurel berry fruit oil. It says woods, lavender, patchouli, and amber is what this Northern Woods scent smells like. And so it just sounded like it really went with it to me. Now, one of the things that I like to do with my Modern Aleppo soap, kind of like a Castile soap, this will go on my curing rack for 6 months or more. So that's why I'm making it now in the summertime. This is not going to be ready until 2023. So unfortunately, I don't stay on top of it. I should always have a batch on the curing rack, because by the time I sell out and realize I need to make more, it's another 6 months till it's ready, but it's worth the wait. Let me tell you that. It is worth the wait. So we're going to make it today. I'm going to make the video. The video will publish, and this thing won't be ready for a while, because the longer it cures, the better it gets. It's kind of like Castile soap, which is 100% olive oil soap. They've found bars that are hundreds of years old, and they're super dehydrated, but they're still just beautiful, excellent soap. So that's kind of what this is. If you make it or buy it and you put it in the back of your closet and let it sit for a year or two, it's even better. One of the other things that I do in my take, based on the inspiration, is I use aloe vera juice in my lye solution, just because it sounds good. It kind of goes with the whole earthy vibe, and that's just how I do it. So we're going to do an aloe vera juice lye solution, laurel berry fruit oil, olive oil, coconut oil, a little fragrance. It's so good. So come along and let's make some Modern Aleppo soap. Also, if you want to go check out Rouge, Canada for their fragrant oils, I have a 10% off discount code down below, and tell them I sent you. All right, it's time to measure the ingredients for the Modern Aleppo. So I have my laurel berry fruit oil, and it does get kind of thick in these bottles, so I just pop these in the microwave just in little 10-second bursts until it liquefies, and I'm going to use both of these bottles. So today's recipe, I need 32 ounces of laurel berry fruit oil. So let's start with that. I've got my scale all tiered out, and we're going to pour these in there. And it is so dark and luscious looking. This is just such a rich oil. So anyway, I misspoke. It is 31.5 ounces of laurel berry fruit oil. And now I'm going to add my coconut oil, 19 ounces of coconut oil. All right, we got our 19 ounces coconut in there, and I'm going to give this just a quick pulse in the microwave to melt that coconut oil. All right, the coconut oil is all melted, and now it's time to add castor oil. I got this one from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I've gotten it before from Brambleberry. Several other distributors carry castor oil, so I just always hunt for the best price. So I need 6 ounces of castor oil. And the castor oil helps suspend the lather. It doesn't actually create lather, but it helps suspend the bubbles, because a typical Aleppo or Castile soap with the heavy olive oil is not a big lathering soap, and I like lather. So I put the sugar in the lye solution. I added the coconut oil, which does lather really well, and the castor oil will suspend the lather and help sustain those bubbles. So 6 ounces of castor, not a lot, just enough to boost those bubbles. All right, and the next ingredient is olive oil. I need 68 ounces of olive oil. And I know I don't have that much left in this one jug, so got a new jug here. Boy, I go through olive oil really fast. Lately, I have been getting it at Sam's Club. It's the best price I've found on olive oil, and this olive oil soaks really nicely. So Sam's Club is where I currently get my olive oil. All right, we're going to 68 ounces, and that is it for the oils. All right, I had forgotten that this makes a big batch. This is a 5-liter pitcher, and this is going to be too full after I add the lye. So I'm going to pour it into this 6-liter bucket for mixing up the lye solution, because I am at max capacity over here. So let me switch buckets. All right, we're back, and it's time to add the aloe vera lye solution. And let me tell you what's going on in here is I have 30 ounces of aloe vera juice and distilled water. I did a 50-50 split, so 30 ounces of liquid. I did dissolve 2 tablespoons of sugar in there. I did put silk fibers and sodium lactate. That's what's going on in here, along with 16.8 ounces of sodium hydroxide. That is the amount of lye you need for this batch. We're doing here, I'm going to add this in and proceed slowly. This Laurel Berry, I've had it go really fast and I've had it go really slow. So you never know what you're going to get. And the fragrance is already in here. So let's get this added in, get up to a nice trace, and get it poured in the mold. I'm going to have a very full pot. And that is wonderful. Lots and lots of good soap here. I love this rich dark color, and it's going to turn just a beautiful creamy beige after saponification. You'll see on the cut it lightens up to this gorgeous color. But I just love how earthy that is. I wish you could be here to smell it. It's very earthy smelling, and that northern woods fragrance just sort of adds to the natural earthy scent. You can see it start to turn. That's the emulsification. All the lye is bonding with all the oils, so it's turning this lighter color. The next day, and ta-da, I came down earlier and steamed the top. It didn't have soda ash at all, but it was a little dull, and because this is, you know, a plain looking soap, there's no swirls, I just wanted that gloss. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you don't know what steaming the tops is, I just literally have a super inexpensive clothes steamer that you fill with distilled water, plug it in, it shoots steam out, and you run it across the top of your soap and it glosses it up. This is dry to the touch, but it looks wet. And I just think it gives a simple soap a little extra bling. These smell great, by the way, today. I can definitely pick up that Northern Woods fragrance, but I can also smell, it just smells really earthy and kind of natural. I don't know how else to describe it. But anyway, let's get in here. There's not going to be a lot to see, but so nice. I did put a blanket over this. It went through gel phase last night. In fact, it got very, very warm in the mold. So I don't know if that was the laurel fruit oil that did that, but it got very warm. It didn't overheat. I'm thankful for that, but gel phase was achieved for sure. All right, let's get in here. With the lovely Olga, and it's time to get in here. I just love the gloss on these tops. Yeah, not a lot going on, just simple beauty. Wish these didn't have to cure so long. Actually, you know, they don't have to. You can use these after your typical 4 to 6 week cure time. They're perfectly usable, fully saponified, all the good stuff, but the longer that they wait, because there was such a high volume of liquid oils, they will get harder and longer lasting if you can hold out for a really long cure time. So that's what you're doing when you let these cure for so long. They're just getting harder and harder and longer lasting when you let them sit. So that is why I do it. Anytime you have a soap with a really high liquid content, they're ready to go like a normal soap, but they will melt faster in water if you don't give them a really good, solid, long curing time. And let me just show you real quick. I had some extra batter and I poured some soap flowers. So let me show you the color comparison here. These are a little bit lighter. These bars are going to lighten up just a teeny little bit to get to be this sort of creamy beige color. It's very earthy, but it's almost there. As they're exposed to the air and go through curing process, they will lighten up just a tad. All right, let's get into the next loaf. So yeah, curing time, all of that. It's a debatable thing. There have been some soapers on YouTube that I've seen that are adamant that you don't need to wait 4 to 6 weeks on your regular soaps, and others are like, you must wait 8 weeks. So the bottom line is, in the first 72 hours, all of your lye has finished saponifying in your oils. So there's no more caustic material. The pH level is set in those first, 72 hours, let's call it several days. And after that, it's all a matter of letting the water evaporate out and letting them harden. And they do get better. They sort of mellow, but most of the chemical process is done after a pretty short period of time. So is it safe to use? It's safe to use after, I'd give it a week, and then your soap is totally safe to use, but it's going to melt so fast in the water. And after you put all that effort into it, who wants your soap to disappear super fast? You want it to last. So I am a big supporter of longer cure times. The longer the better, I think, even, on any soap. I just think I have found some old soaps that I've thrown in the back of my bathroom closet, and I'm like, ooh, yay. The older they are, the better. Look at that cute little twirl on top. I love it. Even these simple bars, to me, are beautiful. All right, back to cut the last loaf here, and I'm going to let these sit out on my table here for a couple of hours and let the surface area sort of dry a bit before I come back in to clean them up, bevel, stamp, all that good stuff. So I hope you give the recipe a try. I know Laurel Berry oil is expensive, but let me tell you, it's worth it. I really think it's worth it. So if you can get your hands on some, I hope you give the recipe a try and enjoy it. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you did enjoy the video, please consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss anything going on in the soap studio. and I hope you have a really wonderful day.